So Sutra 59. O Ramantanam Anantanam Chavyayanam Sarveshware. So before that we had the Sutra Tesham Na Sandhi Nityam. So which was preventing any sandhi after we delete Ya Rama or Va Rama from Ayadis. O Ramantanam Anantanam Chavyayanam Sarveshware. Avyayas, which are the indeclinable words. Avyayas are basically the nouns, the words which remain same all the time. So avyayas that end in O Rama or avyayas that are anantas. What is ananta? Anantaha. So avyayas which are anantas, they do not undergo sandhi when a Sarveshwara follows. When avyayas that end in O Rama or avyayas that are simple anantas are followed by a Sarveshwara, neither they nor the following Sarveshwara undergo sandhi. For example, no yukta upendraha. In this case, generally, if this sutra was not there, then we would have applied O av, that sutra. So this O would have become av, and then optionally ayadinam yavayorva, the verb would be deleted, and teshamna sandhi nityam. But this sutra is specifically mentioning that if we have an avyaya which is ending with O Rama, so this no is an avyaya which is ending with O Rama. So in this case, there is no sandhi done. So it remains as it is, no upendraha. Similarly, no yukta achyutah, it's the same avyaya, which is ending with O Rama, O Ramantanam avyayanam. So no sandhi here. Now you might be thinking, oh, how do we know which words are avyayas and which are not? So there is a whole list and of avyayas. Did I share that list with you in the group?
No.
Okay, I will share
Don't
that.
think so.
I'll share that list. It's a complete list of the avyayas, all types of avyayas, whether they are oramantas or others. So you can go through them, and the meanings are also given along with the
So
avyayas.
does it mean that the avyaya ends with an ananta, or the whole word is an ananta?
Okay, this is the first part which we did, avyayas ending in orama. Now we are coming to anantas. That is the
Oh,
second part of the sutra.
okay.
So this was when the avyayas are ending with orama. The second part is when avyayas they are keval anantas, only anantas. So the keval anantas means purely they are the anantas, i, e, u, and nothing else before or after them. So the keval anantas headed by a Rama are used in the sense of addressing and so forth. The avyaya a is used in the sense of addressing sambodhana. For example, a ananta. So in this case, a is an avyaya and it's also ananta. So normally we would have applied dashavatarikartmake militva trivikramaha. But because of this current rule, we do not apply any sandhi and they remain a ananta, which is like a sambodhana, like he ananta, a ananta. The trivikrama a is used in the sense of remembrance, smarana. A yukta evam achyuta leela, which means Achyuta's pastime is in this way. So, remembrance. So no sandhi here. Then the Vamana E is used in the sense of reproach, bhartsana, like scolding someone. E yukta achyutam na bhajasi. Shame on you, you don't worship Achyuta. Trivikrama E in the sense of filling up a sentence, Vakpurana. So it doesn't have any special meaning. It is just used to fill up a sentence because some meters they need a specific number of aksharas. So sometimes such words are used. So this is just Vak Purana. E yukta idrishya sangsara. Well, the material word is like this. Then U in the sense of humble entreaty, amantrana. Amantrana means to call someone. U achyuta. Please come, O achyuta. Then the Trivikrama U in the sense of prohibition, pratishedha. U upasannam mam tejasi. Don't abandon me who have come near. So these six were the examples of the Anantas who are obvious, and we do not do any sandhi in these cases. Now this is a specific thing. There are only 9 primary avyayas that end in orama. So like this is the full list. Atho, aho, aho, utaho, o, no, bho, hum, ho, and ho. You can write this. So if we have such any of these avyayas plus any word beginning with the Sarveshwara, so we won't have any sandhi. So this was the sutra. Is that clear? O Ramantanam, Anantanam, Chavyayanam, Sarveshware.
So every morning when we join class, we can address each other, bho bho.
Okay, you can. Yeah.
So the Ananta, it's the word, the letter, or is there anything like a word, Ananta word, or it's just referring to a, I, I, u, Anantaha?
It's referring to the definition, the Sangya Ananta.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we move to the next one. Mm-hmm. There is one more explanation, like we did A here, which is a part of Ananta and which is Avyaya, but there is different Ang Pratyaya prefix. So when this Ang is used, then Sandhi is done because this is not an Ananta. For example, A Yukt Anantam, so Anantam. Now this Ang is very frequently used and it has got various meanings. Okay, for example, one should know that the A, this Ang, this thing in the brackets, it gets removed. So we only have the A. So one should know that the A, which is used, it is used in the sense of Ishat. Ishat means slightly, a little. Example is A yukt Ushnam. So it becomes Oshnam, Udvay O, slightly warm. Then it's used with Kriya Yoga combination with the verb. For example, Agachati and Agamana, many more, when we add A with a verb. So Kriya Yoga. Then Vyapti and Maryada. So this Vyapti and Maryada, Vyapti means inclusion. For example, if I say, like in Bhagavad Gita, it said, A Brahma Bhumanat Lokan. What is that shloka? Punaravartin Arjuna. That, So, A Brahma Bhuvanat Loka, like even up to Brahma Loka. When we say up to Brahma Loka, we have that A ahead of Brahma, right? A Brahma. So it means Vyapti, it includes Brahma Loka. So even up to, including Brahma Loka, there is cycle of birth and death. So that is Vyapti. But if I say A Vaikuntha Sansaraha, which means the Sansara material existence exists up until the Vaikuntha, which means it does not include Vaikuntha. That is Maryada, the last limit of inclusion. So Vyapti is something we include also. But Maryada, we do not include that part. It goes up till there. So A Brahma Bhuvanat Loka is example of Vyapti. where we include Brahmaloka as a place where the cycle of birth and death continues. But if I say a Vaikuntha, Avaikuntha, okay, Sansaraha. In this case, the material existence, the samsara, extends up till or up to Vaikuntha, which means the samsara does not include Vaikuntha. So this is an example of Maryada.
So if we didn't already know the Siddhanta that Brahmaloka is included and Vaikuntha is not included in Samsara, then how would we distinguish the Vyapti and the Maryada when we're reading these two?
Generally, such things, first of all, contextually, we get to know the meanings. And because when we are reading some passage, some shloka, some commentary, then contextually we understand a lot of things. But still, if it is not clear that way, then acharyas, they take upon such things and they explain in their commentaries that, okay, A means this and this, Vaikuntha means this and this, like that.
Bravo, and that wouldn't be like understanding the function of the word meaning if it is a prefix. No, it wouldn't work. It's more meaning than function of the a.
I didn't get it, Mataji.
In both cases, it's a prefix.
In both cases, so would be meaning definitely. Oh,
Yes, it means in both cases it's the prefix only. But the thing which I have experienced it, either you get it contextually, you are reading a context and you get to know the meaning.
okay.
Second, if it's not still clear, then acharyas most often they take upon such things and they explain it. Like Jiva Goswami explains A Brahma Bhuvanat in Harinamamrit Vyakaran, which is of course not a commentary on Bhagavad Gita. So like that. And of course, if we take the meanings otherwise, which people do, they do. So then instead of getting the artha, we get anartha, a wrong meaning. An artha and anartha. And people, they do it actually.
There's a story in the Bhagavad Gita. So my Gurudev went and preached to some tea merchants, and he told them that actually it's it is, we don't drink tea, and it is not good to drink tea. And of course, being tea merchants, they didn't like it, and they said that Krishna himself says that he drinks tea. And my Gurudev was like, what? Where does he say that? He says that he is tea. He says, Sarvasya chahang hridi sannivishto.
Yeah.
I am tea, cha aham.
I heard that story from my Sanskrit teacher, Guru. So, okay, so you confirmed it. So, yes. So, I hope the question is clarified. So, these are few usages of the ang prefix and quite useful. Ishat, Kriya Yoga, Vyapti, and Maryada. So, these are the prominent meanings. And you are most invited to read the English commentaries. You'll get to know more about it. Idudetam dvivachanasya manivadi varjam. And Trivikrama E, Trivikrama U, or A, which is also Trivikrama, that belongs to dvivachana, dual case, does not undergo sandhi when a Sarveshwara follows. Now, in the next chapter, we'll study the formations of the nouns by adding the pratyas, prefixes, and we'll get to know which words they lie in dvivachana and they end in either of these. So, in such cases, the sandhi doesn't take place. So, if we have hari yukt atra, ideally, we would have applied idvameva ya sarveshware, but here we do not do any sandhi because hari is dvivachana. The two haris are here. So similarly, Vishnu yukta atra, Amu yukt atra, Gange yukt atra, Bhajete yukt ajitam. So all these are dvivachanas, and we do not do any sandhi. Now, there is an exception to this rule even. The Manivadis are an exception to this rule. So there are few words which, although they are dvivachanas, but we do sandhi. So Mani, it's ending with Trivikrama E, Yukta Iva. We do sandhi here because it says that it's an exception to this rule. Dampati Yukta Iva, Dampati Iva. Rodasi Yukta Iva, Rodasi Iva. Jampati Yukta Iva, Jampati Iva. So like this. So the full group of Manivadis is as follows. Mani, two jewels, Bharyapati, husband and wife, Dampati, husband and wife, Rodasi, heaven and earth, Vasasi, upper garment and lower garment, Jampati, husband and wife, and Jayapati, husband and wife. Mostly combinations of husband and wife. So when we have these, so we do Sandhi. Is that okay?
So all of these things are things which are commonly coupled, but what are the two jewels? Like, where is there usually a couple of jewels? Is that something that happens often?
No idea. Means there's no such explanation like by at least Jiva Goswami in this case. So maybe some rare usage of money somewhere. That's why they have taken it here. So yeah, no idea, no speculation. So we are finished with the Sarveshwara Sandhi here, which is the first section of Sandhi. And we'll move ahead to Vishnu Jana Sandhi, the second one. So I hope everything is clear till here. And please do memorize. I'll share sandhis, around 40 to 50 sandhis. Will be like a test, open book test for you. And you'll have to do it and you can submit it tomorrow. So I'll share after the class, only for the Sarveshwara Sandhis.
Will we have to memorize things like this Manivadi list and the Avya?
I do not expect, I do not expect this thing that you memorize this table or the shloka or something, but you just memorize the principle and yeah, that's all. Because these are really rare ones. If you do want to memorize, most welcome. But if it's like too much, then you can even skip it. The main thing is this. Okay. So we start Vishnu Jana Sandhi. Vishnu Jana means Kadayo Vishnu Janaha, combination of consonants. Sandhi means combination, combine. So it's combination of consonants. So earlier we were dealing the Sandhi for the Sarveshwaras. Now we'll be dealing with the Vishnu Janas. Vishnu Daso, Vishnu Padante, Hari Ghoshecha, Harigada. What's a Vishnu Dasa? Akrur Prabhu.
Vishnu Dasa are those from A to M.
No.
Sorry, that's the Vish. Oh, yeah. I got lost. Sorry.
Okay. Mahaprema Mataji, what is a Vishnu Dasa? The sutra?
Te etat vajitat Vishnu Dasa.
Right.
Dasha.
Yeah. Ta etad varjita Vishnu Dasa, which means all the 5 vargas, or let's say all the 5 columns. Hari Kamala, Hari Khadga, Hari Ghosha, Hari Gada, Hari Ghosha, Hari Venu. So excluding Hari Venu, the rest of the 4 columns. So they are Vishnu Dasa. And we know what is Hari Ghosha. We know what is Hari Gada. So that's how we have to know each group. What's a Hari Ghosha? Because Jiva Goswami is not going to repeat, the letters of those groups. He will just say Hari Ghosha, Hari Gada, Vishnu Dasa. So a Vishnudasa at the end of a Vishnupada becomes a Harigada. Okay. Now it says, it introduces a term which is a Vishnupada. Now Jiva Goswami himself, he introduces or he defines the word Vishnupada in the next chapter, the beginning of the next chapter. For the time being, let's consider Vishnupada to be a word like Krishna, Rama, and so on, just a word. Now the sutra says, if we have a Vishnu Dasa at the end of a Vishnupada, for example, Jiva Goswami gives examples of Vak Yukt Achyutasya. Achyutasya, right? So in this case, we have, this is a word, and at the end of a word, we have a Vishnu Dasa. Is Ka Rama a Vishnu Dasa or not?
Yes.
It is. So such Vishnu Dasa becomes Hari Gada of its own Varga. This Vishnu Dasa will become the Hari Gada of its own Varga. First of all, which Varga does it belong to, this letter?
Ka, ka, ga, ka. Is there a name for the Varga?
Yeah, this is Ka Varga, you know, Ka Varga, Cha Varga, Ta
Oh,
Varga,
Ka
Ta
Varga,
Varga,
yeah.
Pa Varga. So this belongs to Ka Varga. And what is the Hari Gada of Ka Varga?
Ga.
Yes. So it becomes the Hari Gada of its own Varga. So what does it become? Vag Achyutasya. Vag Achyutasya. Okay, one more example would be Bhagavad Gita. Again, we have a word here, Bhagavat, and at the end of the word is the Vishnu Dasa. Ta is a Vishnu Dasa. So ta changes to the Hari Gada of its own Varga by the same sutra, Vishnu Dasa, Vishnu Padante, Hari Ghoshe cha Hari Gada. So ta becomes what? What is that, Mataji?
Ah,
Yeah, it becomes the Bhagavad Gita. Any other example?
So we still have the Anuvritti Sarveshware. This is all before a Sarveshware, or not?
No, no here, not here. It just says a Vishnu Dasa at the end of a Vishnu Pada becomes a Harigada. That's all. Few more examples by Jiva Goswami are Vak Yukt Govindasya. Again, Ka is a Vishnu Dasa at the end of a word. It becomes Ka Kha Ga. Ga. Shat Yukt Gopika. Ta Rama belongs to Ta Varga, so becomes Ta Tha Da. Shat Gopika. Even same with Shat Goswami. Bhagavat Yukt Ichha Ta Rama becomes Da Rama. Bhagavad Ichha. Now you might be thinking everywhere we see Hari Kamala and Hari Kamala becomes Harigada, but it can also be a Hari Ghosha. Anything which is there, it just comes to or it becomes Harigada. Kakub, now we have Bha, which is a Hari Ghosha. So this will become Hari Gada of its own Varga, so which is Pa Pha Ba. Kakub Vishnu. And this Sandhi is very frequent and very prominent. Wherever you see, you will see the Sandhi. Very, very much used. So Vishnu Daso, Vishnu Padante, Hari Ghoshe cha, Hari Gada. So this sutra has got two parts. One part is this, which we did. And this part will be explained in Akhyata, in the third chapter. And Jiva Goswami himself says, Udaharana Antaram Agre. That examples for the second part will be given ahead, Agre. So we'll discuss this when we reach, not Akhyata actually, maybe in the next chapter, Shabda Prakaran, we'll see some examples for this one. So a Vishnu Das at the end of a Vishnu Pada becomes a Harigada. and Harigada of its own Varga. Is that clear?
Yes.
Then Harivenu, Harivenurva. Now, if a Vishnudasa at the end of a Vishnupada, again, if we have a Vishnudasa at the end of a word, it optionally becomes a Harivenu when a Harivenu follows. So Harivenu is na, 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 ma Harivenavaha. For example, we have Jagat Yukt Nathaha. So Tarama is a Vishnudasa situated at the end of a word. And here we have a Harivenu. Na is a Harivenu. So what the sutra says, in such scenario, when we have a Harivenu following, this Vishnudasa will become the Harivenu of its own Varga again. So ta, tha, da, dha, na. So it becomes na, Jagannatha, but it says optionally. So this rule is optionally applied. So one time we apply this rule, and one time we apply the previous rule. We change the ta Rama to the Harigada of its own Varga. So Jagadnatha, Jagannatha, and Jagadnatha. Similarly, Krishna Gup Yukt Nyumuve. So Pa Varga and a Harivenu following. So Pa Varga, Pa Rama changes to Harivenu of its own Varga, which is Pa Pa Ba Bha Ma. So it becomes Krishna Gum Nyumuve. And one time it changes to Ba, so Krishna Gub Nyumume. Is that okay?
Yes.
So Harivenu, Harivenura, please try to grasp the meaning of each word. I'm saying this again and again. Each word of the sutra. Harivenu, what does it mean? Harivenu, then Va. Because each word of the sutra, they have got a very subtle meaning, and we resolve many clashes just by knowing the meanings in depth of the sutras. If we remove Va, then only Jagannatha would be the form. Now, let's say someone forgets Va from the sutra and he just remembers Harivenu, Harivenu. Now, somewhere in the Shastra, he sees the form Jagadnatha. Now, in that case, he'll get confused that it should become Na, this Da should become Na by Harivenu, Harivenu. Why it is Jagad? So, because he missed Va from his memory, so he will get confused. So, this is like a random example I'm giving. So, please try to grasp the meaning of each word of the sutra, and we have the synonyms and the translations are there. So, moving ahead, Yadava Matre Harikamalam. What's a Yadava?
The column beginning with ka and the column beginning with ka.
And
Yadava Anje.
Yadava Anye, and what else? Rukmini Mataji, what else?
Oh, I missed something. Yeah, it's a Hari Mitra, I think.
No.
I've forgotten the sutra.
It's Shauri. It's not full Harigotra, it's only Shauri. Sha, Sha, Sa. So, Harikamala, Harikadga, and Shauri. They together they make Yadava. A Vishnu Dasa, again, when situated at the end of a word, becomes a Harikamala when any Yadava follows. Okay. For example, if we have Vak Krishnasya. So this sutra is basically a sort of type of prohibition of the 61st sutra, Vishnudasa Vishnupadante Hari Ghoshicha Harigada, because generally Ka would become Ga, the Harigada of its own Varga. But this sutra is prohibiting the letter, the Vishnudasa, from becoming Harigada, and it says that it will become a Hari Kamala. So if it is already a Hari Kamala, then it will remain Hari Kamala. If it is something else and a Yadava following, then it will become a Hari Kamala. So Vak Yukta Krishnasya. So Ka belongs to Yadava, Yadava Anya. So this Ka, this Vishnu Dasa, will remain a Hari Kamala. Vak Krishnasya. Vak Krishnasya. So this sutra is to prevent the change to Harigada by Sutra 61. And so, yes, I said this, is to prevent the change to Harigada. Vak Krishnasya. Then Tataha Shashchova. Tataha Shashchova says, Sharama, that comes after a Vishnudasa, which means at the second place, optionally becomes Charama. For example, we have Suvak Yukta Shaurihi. Now, Sha is a Yadava, so Ka Rama does not become Ga, and we apply the previous sutra, Yadav, what was that? Yadav Matri Hari Kamalam. So it remains Suvak, but instead Sha Rama here becomes Cha optionally. Suvak Chaurihi, and one time Suvak Shaurihi. Similarly, Up Yukta Shayi, again we apply Yadav Matri Hari Kamalam, which prohibits Pa from becoming Ba because Sha is a Yadava. So Sha becomes Cha optionally, Up Chai and Up Shai. Tataha Shashtova. Is that okay?
I'm sorry, I'm still going to the previous sutra. I must have forgotten what is Vishnu Padanta. I'm looking in the commentary and I'm still confused.
Okay, Vishnu Pada, just consider for the timing, Vishnu Pada is a word. Like Vak is a word, Achyutasya is a word. When we say Vishnu Padanta, now it has two words, Vishnu Pada and Anta. So at the end of the word. So if we say Vishnu Padanta in this case, so Ka Rama is a Vishnu Padanta here. If we say Vishnu Padanta in this case, then Ta Rama. The letter which is situated at the end of the word, that is Vishnu Padanta.
But then, so in these cases that you're highlighting on your document, then also it was at the end of the word. So then how is this different than those cases? Because this that you're highlighting in your document, then 61 was applicable, and in this 63, so
63 is Yadav Matra, yes.
So so Yadava was the, so is the Yadava at the beginning of the next word? Is that what it is?
Yes. Now Yadava here is a Paranimitta at the beginning of the next word.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay. We talked of Paranimitta, Purvanimitta, Karya and Kari in the last class. So the example is Vak Krishnasya in the case of Yadav Matri Hari Kamalam. So this place is the Karya Sthana, Karyi. The place where the Karya will take place, the effect. And this is the Paranimitta, Yadava. If Yadava follows, if this Paranimitta is there. So in this case, this Ka being Yadava stands as a Paranimitta.
Okay.
Okay, Mataji?
Yes, thanks. That clears it up.
Okay, we're done with this. Now, Ho Hari Ghosha. Ha Rama, that comes after a Vishnu Dasa, optionally becomes a Hari Ghosha. Ha Rama that comes after a Vishnu Dasa optionally becomes a Hari Ghosha. For example, Vak, just a minute. Vak yukt hare. So first of all, ha is not a Yadava. So we apply Vishnu Daso Vishnu Padante, Hari Ghoshe cha Harigada. Ka becomes Harigada of its own Varga. It becomes Vag and Yukta Hare. Now we apply the present sutra, Ho Hari Ghosha. According to this sutra, it becomes a Hari Ghosha. This Harama becomes the Hari Ghosha. Now Hari Ghoshas are 5. Which Hari Ghosha will it become? So it will become Hari Ghosha according to the Varga of the previous letter. Now this Ga belongs to Ka Varga. And the Hari Ghosha of Ka Varga is Gha. So it becomes Gha. Of course, it says optionally. So Vag Gharehe and Vag Harehe. One more example, which we use every day. Sakshat Haritvena. So first of all, we do Vishnu Dasa, Vishnu Padante, Hari Ghoshe cha Hari Gada. And Ta becomes the third letter, the Hari Gada. So it's Da. Sakshat Haritvena. Now we apply Ho Hari Ghosha, 65th Sutra, the current Sutra. So this Harama becomes the Hari Ghosha of this Varga. So it is Dha. So Sakshat Dharitvena. And that's what we chant every day. Sakshat Dharitvena. So it was originally Sakshat Haritvena. By applying Sandhi, ultimately it becomes Sakshat Dharitvena. Same rule, Ho Hari Ghosha.
What is Dvena in this case?
What is that?
Yeah, Hari Dvena.
Haritvena. Haritvena is one word.
What does it mean?
Haritvena is being like Hari. You know, we say Guru is like Hari. So this literally it would mean Hariness. You know, like Twa
Okay,
stands in English. We say ness for Twa. An example for ness in English?
Lordliness.
Okay,
Brightness.
let's say Sattva. You know, Sattva. So Sattva in English we say goodness. Tva, that Tva Pratyay. So this is Haritva, and so it's like Hariness, you know, the quality of Lord Hari, something like that, literally. So in that
And
sense,
Ena is the third case.
yeah, this is the third case. So you said lordliness. So Ishwaratva, if we say Ishwaratva, then it would mean Lord. Yes. So like that. Tva. Any other example?
There would be a between the and the T.
Yeah,
the ta.
I missed it. Ishwaratva, lordliness. So like that. More examples are Ach Yukt Halau. Cha becomes Ja, Vishnu Dasa, Vishnu Vedante, Hari Ghosha, Cha Hari Gada. Then Ho Hari Ghosha. Ha becomes Hari Ghosha of this Cha Varga. Cha, Cha, Ja, Jha. Aj Halau. Or optionally Aj Halau. Shat Harehe becomes Shat Dharehe or Shat Harehe. Tat Halinaha becomes Tad Dhalinaha or Tad Halinaha. Kakub Harasya. First of all, we do Vishnu Dasa Vishnu Vedante and Ho Hari Ghosha. Then Kakub Bharasya or Kakub Harasya. These days, the change to Hari Ghosha is always done. So although the sutra is optional, the application is optional, but nowadays people they prefer this after applying the sutra. Vag, Hare, and so on. Harigosha is done mostly.
So it's a combination of two sutras. So first, so the thing at the end has to be translated into the Harigada,
Mm-hmm.
and the thing at the beginning, the Paranimitta has to
Yes.
become
Harigosha.
Harigosha. Yeah.
Hmm. So it's not that only one sutra has to applied at a time. It can be two or even three or more than that. So
Prabhu, the Karyi and Paranimita would exchange, no? Like, because one letter becomes the Sandhi for the other and the other becomes the Sandhi for the other. So like you have two sutras applying in this case.
yeah, see, first sutra in this case was saying the first sutra did not demand any paranimitta. It just said that if you have Vishnu Dasa at the end of a word, it simply changes to Harigada. So it did not practically or really depend on the next word. The second sutra, Ho Harigosha, it depended on a Purva Nimitta that comes after a Vishnu Dasa. So in this case, after a Vishnu Dasa, it becomes a Purva Nimitta. So Ga becomes a Purva Nimitta in this case for her to become Harigosha, because of course it's becoming Harigosha depending on the Purva Nimitta and its Varga. So they are interlinked in that sense.
Okay. Now I understand that the first sutra does not require any nimitta.
Any paranimitta is not required there.
It's just a Kari by itself.
Yes. But in Yadav Matre Harikavanam, there was a paranimitta that, okay, generally we do not need any paranimitta to apply the first sutra. But if any Yadava follows, then it will not change to anything. It will become Harikamala only. So their paranimitta was introduced to make out an exception.
Yeah, I see. Okay, now it's clear.
Okay. Anything by anyone? Okay. Next sutra says, Datau Paravarnau Lachata Vargeshu Nityam. Someone is doing kirtan, at the home nearby, so just a background bhajan. Okay.
Is that your family?
I'm sorry.
Is that your family doing bhajan?
They are my neighbors actually.
Achha.
It's Vrindavan, so everyone they chant and they sing.
Yeah.
So the Rama, let me just close the door. It will reduce a bit. Just a second. Okay. The Rama and the Rama always change to the following Varna when La Rama, Cha Varga or Ta Varga follows. Let me explain. If we have either the Rama or the Rama at the first place, and either La Rama, Datta Parvana, Lachta Vargashu, any letters from Cha Varga or any letter from Ta Varga following, in that case, what happens is these letters, either the or the, whatever is there, they always change to the following letter. For example, it says, okay, let's say Sat, Chit. Let's also write Ananda because we did that. So now we have Ta Rama here. And we have a letter from Cha Varga, which is Cha itself. So this Ta would become Cha. Ta would become the same as the following letter. So this Ta becomes Cha So such. Now, what would be the which rule would be applied in this case?
It would apply Vishnu Dasa, Vishnu Padante, Hari Ghoshi, Hari Gada.
Yes, and it will become
Chid.
Chid and Ananda. So that's how it becomes Satchidananda. More examples by Jiva Goswami are Tad Yukta Lakshmi Pateh. Now we have La Rama. So the becomes La. Tal Lakshmi Pateh. Because it also says when La Varga, La Rama follows. Tat Yukt Chaturbhujasya again becomes Tach Chaturbhujasya. Kansajit Yukta Chadayati. Okay, in this case, Kansa Jit Yukta Chadayati. So what would happen first of all? This ta will become Cha Rama because Cha Rama is following. Okay. Now this Cha is a Vishnu Dasa. And this Cha is a Yadava. Now we apply Yadav Matre Harikamalam in this case. And what would happen is this Cha Rama here will become Harikamala of its own Varga, which would be Kansa Jich. Like that.
I didn't understand the difference between Kamsa Jich and Kamsa Jik. I didn't get it.
Means here we had Cha Rama, Cha.
Okay, that's a Cha, aspirated.
Yeah, the aspirated one. And here we converted it into the Harikamala by applying Yadav Matre Harikamalam.
Okay.
Because a Yadava is following, so this Vishnu Dasa changes to Harikamala. So I said, if it's already a Harikamala, it will remain a Harikamala. If it's something else, then it will become a Harikamala, if Yadava is following. So Kansa Jich Chadayati. More examples are Tat Yukta Janardanasya. So Taj Janardanasya. One famous example for this one is Sat Yukt Jana becomes Sajjana. Ta becomes Ja. So Sajjana. Kansajit Yukta Jhankaraha. Again the same thing. Ta becomes Jha. By this sutra, Dato Paravarna Ulachadavargeshu Nityam. Jha. Now Cha, Cha, Ja, Jha. Jha is a Harighosha. So Vishnu Dasa, Vishnu Padante, Harighoshe, Harigada. Harighoshe cha Harigada is applied. Then this Jha becomes Harigada of its own Varga. So Cha, Cha, Ja. It becomes Ja by applying that sutra. Kansa Jij Jhankara. Tad Yukta Nya Ramaha. So Da becomes Nya because this is following and part of Chavarga. Kansa Jit Yukta Tikate. Again, Ta becomes Ta, same rule, and like that. This sandhi is very also used. I saw one example from Gita. What was that? Maybe this one. Tat labhate puman, something to that extent. So it becomes
Machita Malgata Prana.
Yeah, that is also a good example. Mat chitta becomes much chitta, and yes, madgata is mat gata becomes mad gata. Okay, is it clear?
In the case of Tad Nyaramaha, it's the Tad converts to like same rule, no? Tanya.
Yes, because this nya is a part of cha varga, So we do the same thing here.
I confused. I thought it was Hari in
Actually, personally, I've seen both versions. Like mostly, what I've seen is people means they prefer Harivenurva mostly, even in such cases. That's what my observation has been, that the would become na even if this is following, but because rule is there and Jiva Goswami has given example, so we should know both. So whatever appears in front of us, we should be able to recognize. That is the point. Charita Mataji, is it okay? You're getting right?
Yes, Prabhu, I'm really behind. I have not memorized. I'm following as much as I could, but I'm planning to spend one day just going through the previous sutras and understanding these terms.
Okay. Please revise, Mataji, otherwise it will be difficult ahead.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. We'll do one last sutra, then a new section will begin. Tascha she, Tarama becomes Charama when Sharama follows. See, now sutras, individually, if you see the sutras, they are simple. If this is the nimitta, this karya will take place and so on. But collectively, they become many. So at one point, it might confuse us initially. Oh, such and such combination, such and such combination. This is the karya, this is the effect. So it needs a little practice. I will say not little. It needs more practice initially, and then it becomes our second nature. Just yeah. So please do practice, and the synonyms in Prabhupada's books, they will really help, because Prabhupada undid the sandhi in the synonyms, in the word meanings. So you can take help from there, and or other things. Yeah. Tashtashe, Tarama becomes Charama when Sharama follows. For example, Tat Yukta Shaure. So first of all, we change ta to cha by this sutra because Sharama is following. So this Tarama becomes Charama by this sutra. Tach Yukta Shaure. And to prevent Vishnudasa Vishnupadante Harighosha Harigada, we apply Yadav Matre Harikamlam because Sha is a Yadava. So Cha remains Cha. Tach Yukta Shaure. Now we apply Tatah Shashchova. If you remember, just now we did 64th. That Sharama, which comes after Vishnudasa, optionally becomes Charama. So Cha is a Vishnudasa. So this Sharama optionally becomes Charama. So Tach Chaure and Tach Shaure. One more example I would like to give. Tat Shakti. So first of all, we apply the sutra Tashcha She, so that Ta becomes Cha, because Sharama is following. Then we apply the sutra Tatah Shashchova. Sha becomes Charama optionally. Tach Shakti, and one time it would be Tach Shakti.
And this is where you said it. The sutra says it's optional, but these days it's always the first case that people.
That was Ho Hari Ghosha. That
okay.
was for Ho Hari Ghosha.
So this is still actually optional. People do the second case too.
Personally, I've seen this usage more than the second one.
Okay.
That was my observation. Tach Shakti and so on. So,
Oh, sorry.
yes.
Meditation sounds.
So, yeah. So, Tashtashi. Any questions still here? So we'll stop for the grammar part here. So please revise, and if you have got anything, you can ask. So, okay, let's do some Anvaya.
I have
What
one
is-
question.
Yes, Prabhu.
In the sutras, what is your personal like trick, or how do you do to memorize if the sutra applies for the first word or for the second word? Because sometimes my brain gets confused. Is this sutra applying for the following word or for the previous word?
For example, like any example, Prabhu?
Like this tash chashe, like I memorized first the tataha shashchova and then tash chashe. Then I observed that tataha shashchova will modify the
Sure,
second
Rama.
word. Uh-huh. And tash chashe will modify the first word. So that way I like, you know, like try to visualize both words and say, okay, this sutra is for the first word on the left and the second sutra is for the right.
Yes, means personally, in my case also, uh, I also went through the same file and the same thing. So I just got the point which sutra to be applied at what point. That, like in this case, first of all, we apply this sutra and we change the to cha, and then we apply the second sutra, which is tata shashchava, and we change sh to cha optionally. And I just memorized that part, and it worked out for me every time till now.
Uh-huh.
So like that, the sequence is given, so just remember the sequence, it will work out every time. You will not stuck anywhere.
And maybe if we memorize an example with the sutra, then
Yeah, that would be good. And
Okay.
yes, that would be
Yes,
good.
I find that useful.
So that's why you can, while making notes, along with writing the sutras and so on, you can also write one example which you can remember. Personally, for this sutra, I remember the example Tat Shakti. So Tat Shakti, so by this I remember this sutra and Tata Shashtava and their applications respectively.
Acha.
Yeah. Anything else? Okay, let's do some Anvaya. Which shloka are we supposed to do? Maybe someone after the class, after the end of each class, can write in the group, okay, next class onwards will start from this sutra and this shloka. So becomes easy.
Was that the fifth one, Srimad Bhagavatam, or sixth?
Did we do this one? I think we did these two.
Yes, we did those two.
We did this. Maybe from 9th. Okay, let's do from 9th. What's the harm even if we repeat? So Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, text, chapter 1, text 9. Tatra tatrang jasa yushman bhavata yad vinishchitam pumsam ekantatah shreyas tannah shamsitum arhasi. We got one example for Harivenu Harivenurva. Tat nah. So you have to recognize actually, huh? So Harivenu Harivenurva. So Ta Rama becomes Harivenu of its own varga because a Harivenu is following. So it becomes Tan Nah. Okay. Hey Ayushman. So now it's Shaunakadi Rishi is speaking to Sutta Goswami. Hey Ayushman, oh long-lived Sutta Goswami, or oh Sutta, who's blessed with a long life. Dirgayu. भवता त्वया तत्र तत्र तेषु तेषु अधीत आख्यात शास्त्रेषु अंजसा ग्रंथ आर्जवेन पुंसां मानवानाम् एकांततः श्रेयः अव्यभिचारि श्रेयः साधनं यत् विनिश्चितं सिद्धान्तितं तत् निःश्रेयसं त्वं नः अस्माकं शंसितुं कथयितुम् अर्हसि योग्यः असि यत् अस्माकं सर्वथा नित्यचरम मंगलकरं तत् शुश्रून् अस्मान् ब्रूहि इति भावः. O Suta Goswami, who is blessed with long life, Ayushman. So in the previous shloka, the rishis glorified Suta Goswami by saying that Suta Goswami has studied all types of scriptures, whether the Puranas, the Itihasas, the Sanhitas, ityadis, and he hasn't just read all those, in depth, but he has also explained them. He's well versed in the scriptures. Now they are saying that tatra tatra teshu teshu adhit akhyata shastreshu, in those different scriptures which you have read adhita and which you have explained akhyata, anjasa pungsam ekantatah shreya yat vinishchitam siddhantitam. So by doing the reading and explaining of the Shastras, you must have found a conclusion, Vinishchitam, Siddhantitam, a conclusive principle in those Shastras, which represents the Ekantatah Shreya. Shreya means benefit, let's say benefit, and ekantata shreya means the ultimate benefit. Avyabhichari shreya sadhanam. So you must have concluded a sadhana, a process which would lead to the ultimate benefit, ultimate welfare of whom? Of the pungsam, of the manushyas, of the human beings. And which is very anjasa, granth arjavina, which is very easy to be understood and which is very easy to be applied in the life. Anjasa means, easy, very easily. So, O Suta Goswami, who's blessed with the long life, you must have concluded a process which would lead one to the ultimate benefit, which will never flicker. If someone attains to that ultimate benefit, he won't lose it again. That's a vyabhichari. It remains as it is all the times. So you must have concluded such process for manushyas, for the human beings, which would be very easy for the manushyas, for the humans to be assimilated and implied in life. So that nishrayasam, that conclusion, that ultimate welfare activity, tvam naha shanksitum arhasi, you are qualified to narrate or to speak or to disclose that nishrayasa, that process to us. Why? Because yat asmakam sarvatha nitya charma mangalkalam tat shushrun asman bruhi iti bhava. And the bhava is, the implied meaning is that Shaunakadi rishis are saying that we are shushrushun. We are very much desirous of hearing. And we are very much desirous of serving Srimad Bhagavatam. We are very much desirous of hearing the truth, the nishrayasa sadhana. And we are always looking for nitya charama mangala, which means nitya means always, sada eternal, charama means the supreme ultimate, and mangala means auspicious. So indirectly they are saying that we are the right candidates to hear that confidential knowledge from you. So please don't feel hesitate. We are the right candidates. So please tell us that Nishreyasa Sadhanam. Okay.
Could
Now,
you hold on a minute? Let me see here. So Abhyabhichari in this Shreya, what is Abhyabhichari?
okay. Abhyabhi, Vyabhicharing means something which deteriorates, which changes or something like that, which is not constant, temporary. Avyabhichari is related to Shreya. It means a welfare which attaining to which such a welfare won't flicker. Like, let's say someone is feeding chapatis, giving clothings to poor people. That is also some type of welfare activity being done. But that is perishable. So that is vyabhichari. But giving Krishna bhakti to someone, something spiritual, that is avyabhichari shreya. I think that's okay.
Yes, that explains it. And this word, sorry, the word just before that, I'm actually having trouble reading the word. It's Grantharjavena. So it's
Grantharjavena.
so Arjava is simplicity or the easily? Is that's also easily? Oh, you said Anjasa was easily, so
Yeah, straight, honest, straightness.
okay.
So straightness, simplicity. Even Arjuna's name come from the same root as of Arjava. Arjuna also means, one who's simple or something like that, to that extent.
Directness. Okay.
Okay, the next shloka. Now, Suta Goswami, when they said the word Anjasa, the Shaunakadi rishis, so Suta Goswami might be thinking, oh, Shastras are very difficult to be understood, to be read, to be implied. And so, how come? Basically, Shaunakadi rishis, they are explaining why they mentioned the word Anjasa. Why not? They are expecting Suta Goswami to tell a very, very high philosophy, which is also a conclusion from the Shastras, and why they're preferring simple conclusions, but the ultimate ones. Because Prayan Alpayushah Sabhya Kalavasmin Yoge Janaha Mandaha Sumandamatayo Mandabhagya Hyupadrutaha. Hey Sabhya, O Sadhu, O sage, O saint, Asmin Kalau Yuge, in this Kali Yuga, the age of iron. Yes, Kali. I don't know why do they say iron to Kali. Literally, it means age of hypocrisy. They say hypocrisy is a good word for Kali.
Quarrel and hypocrisy. Usually
Yeah, but I really don't understand why they say age of iron, the iron age to Kali Yuga.
it's by analogy to some other concept of four ages. Maybe it's Greek or something. Gold,
Yeah, maybe.
bronze, and iron.
So in this Kali Yuga, Prayena, Prayashaha, which means mostly, when they say Prayena, it's like the majority of the people, majority. Janaha, the people in general. He Alpayushaha, Alp Ayur Vishishtaha. They are short lived. Their ages, they are very Alpa, which means very less. They just live for mere few years, few decades, and they just die. Alp Ayu. Before this, in the ninth shloka, Shaunakadi rishis, they mentioned Suta as Ayushman, that, oh, one who is blessed with Dirgha Ayu, a long life. But here it's like a contrast. They are referring to the Kali Yugites as being Alp Ayu. Just that was my little observation. So people in this Kali Yuga, mostly they are Alp Ayu, very short age. And even in that short age, short span of life, Mandaha, they are lazy, Alasaha. And they're not lazy materially. Materially, they're very active. So much advancement. But he says, Paramarth Cheshtayam Alasaha. They are lazy on the path of endeavor to attain spirituality or on the path of spirituality. Paramarth Cheshtayam Alasaha. That's Manda. So they are lazy on spiritual path, not on the material path. Tatrapi, even then, they are Sumanda Matayah, which means Swalpa Buddhayah. Their buddhi, intelligence is very low, almost null, null and void. Sumanda. Then Tatrapi, even then, Mandbhagya. Mandbhagya, Mandbhagya would literally mean whose fortune is not that brighten, is not that good fortune. Kalyugites, they carry bad fortune with them. You know, good fortune, bad fortune. So we being Kalyugites, mostly we carry bad fortune. That's why we are in the Kali Yuga. Of course, that's a different thing that because of Harinama and so on, even demigods want to take birth and so on. But Mandbhagya is of less fortune. Vigna Akula, those who are always, Akula means afflicted, who are always surrounded by Vignas. Vignas would be obstacles, impediments, hindrances, and so on, troubles. Tatrapi, even then, upadruta, rog adibhi prapidita. We are always afflicted by different types of diseases and so on. Santi Sheshan. So these are the beautiful adjectives for us, the Kulagites. So Alpa Yushaha, Mandaha, Sumandamatayaha, Mandabhagyaha, Upadruta, Drutaha. Okay?
Alpa was what the meaning of
Alpa is less. Alpa. Now, just now we did it, that A, Ishadarte, if you remember, just now we did. So Ishad means Alpa, which means less.
Yeah, yeah.
Prabhu, what's the significance of adding su before alpa, swalpa?
It's to emphasize more. Okay, Buddhi means intelligence. Alpa Buddhi would mean less intelligence. And Su Alpa Buddhi would mean very less intelligence, almost null. To give more emphasis, very less.
I would have thought that swa means like from yourself, like less one's
No,
intelligence.
we have a sandhi here, and we have done that sandhi. Okay, let me do that also. Su Alpa. Which sandhi rule is applied? Let us anyone. Which rule?
In lieu of? No, because it's not it's just the.
Which rule is applied?
Baha.
Yeah, which
Baha.
rule? You're right. Which rule? Sutra?
Baha.
Udvayam Vaha. So it becomes Swalpa. So, yes, please do practice.
Okay.
Anything else? So we'll resume tomorrow, and I'll share that Sarveshwara Sandhi list. So please do that and submit it tomorrow. Okay. So we'll stop
Okay.
here. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Hare Krishna.